One of the most stressful parts about looking for an internship while in school is making sure you have a strong portfolio that makes you stand out. As a recent graduate myself, I know how overwhelming it can be to choose projects, structure case studies, and figure out website builders like Framer or Wix, all while juggling academics and life. This rush often leads to simple mistakes that could cost you a job. In this video, I'll cover 7 common mistakes that I usually see students make, and I've even made myself, in their UX design portfolios, and some tips for how to avoid them. Mistake number 1, featuring only one project. Having one project in your portfolio could signal one or two things to recruiters. Either you rush to put it together or you lack experience. Even for an intern, one project just can't showcase your range of skills and problem-solving abilities. My first tip is to aim for 3 to 4 quality projects that are tailored to the roles you want to be hired for. Now, you might be thinking, I only have one project, or I'm not proud of the project I've worked on. Well, don't worry. If you don't have enough projects, consider taking on personal ones like redesigning a website, starting with a heuristic evaluation, or even creating a brief with AI to target skills you want more practice in. You can also volunteer for pro bono work, freelance, or improve past projects you aren't terribly proud of. To get the job you want, you need to be willing to put in a little bit of work building projects for your portfolio, even without prior job experience. Mistake number 2, having weak or under-designed project thumbnails. The main goal for your portfolio homepage is to entice hiring managers to click deeper into your work. Just like having only one project is a red flag, so is using weak thumbnails to represent your work. Avoid using stock photography with your interface photoshopped onto a screen. Stock imagery can make your work look amateur or unfinished at a glance. Plus, I promise you, someone else is probably using that same free stock image. Also, avoid representing your UX work with just a company logo. Company logos only hint at who you worked with for a project, and they don't hint about what you did in the project. If you simply redesigned an interface as a personal project, using a company logo can be misleading since you weren't actually working with that company. Instead, show important screens from the final interface, show a team photo of you working during a workshop, or maybe even a looping video of an important interaction. Once you have those projects selected, it's time to prep your case studies. Now, don't get me wrong, writing case studies as a student can be hard. What do I talk about? How much do I write? How exactly do I present my work? So it can be easy to simply slap a video presentation, demo reel, or even a Figma prototype with a paragraph of text in place of a complete case study. Well, when a hiring manager has 100 plus portfolios to look at, there's a fairly good chance they won't watch that video or click that link if it's the only thing you have to showcase your project. It's just not worth their time. Videos or prototype links are great as supplements, but they shouldn't replace a proper case study. Proper case studies should include, at minimum, project overviews, your role, process work, project results, business impact, if applicable, and especially as a student, what you learned from doing the project. Along those same lines is mistake number 4, copying and pasting a class presentation deck into a website. Now, I'll admit I'm a culprit of this one myself because it's super easy to do. And why would I reinvent the wheel, right? Well, I'll tell you why. First is slide deck presentations are usually prepared for a specific audience and presented in a person-to-person format. And that probably isn't to the hiring manager you're showing your portfolio to. Simply exporting images of your slide decks can result in lost context, shows you might not know how to tailor projects to different formats, and can affect page hierarchy and scannability. Additionally, it can cause accessibility issues. You never know who might be viewing your portfolio, and just using JPEGs of a slide deck can mean too small text and low quality images, especially if you don't allow users the ability to zoom in. It's also a big red flag if you mention you pride yourself on accessible design and you forget to use alt text. If building a website feels too daunting, a slide deck portfolio is fine. While I recommend eventually creating a website, starting with a clean and tailored portfolio deck is often better than slapping presentations into a website builder. Just ensure it's tailored and polished and not just a dump of your class presentations. Mistake number 5, not clearly stating your role. Now, if you've worked on a team project, be clear about your role. Don't imply you did everything or be ambiguous about who did what. For example, if your teammate conducted the user research and you focused on the visual design and UI, make that distinction clear. Being transparent helps recruiters understand your specific strengths and how you can best fit into the role you've applied for. Mistake number 6, poor visual hierarchy in your case studies. Without a strong visual hierarchy, your portfolio will be difficult to navigate and scan. When it comes to case studies, especially, recruiters and hiring managers should be able to quickly scan through your projects to get an overall summary of what you did and why. To ensure there's a clear and logical flow, use informative headings, subheadings, bullet points, callouts, and relevant imagery. Let's look at an example. Here we have a simple heading labeled Research, with an explanatory paragraph followed by an image. To improve this, we can pull out a more informative headline, reduce the research headline to a smaller heading size, and add some highlights to important text in that paragraph. Small fixes like this will make your portfolio easier to scan quickly. Mistake number 7, skipping a content audit. Nothing says, I put this together last night, like missing content, broken links, or bad spelling. So please make sure to audit your portfolio before sending it out. Check all links, read through each page and case study multiple times, and remove unused pages or template boxes if you're using a website template. Even better, get a second pair of eyes to look at it. And if you can't do that, use ChatGPT or Grammarly to help you catch any mistakes. For shared slide decks, make sure you have sharing set to public so recruiters can actually look at your work. Attention to detail can be the difference between landing an interview or being overlooked. Your portfolio is more than just a collection of projects. It's your first impression. Avoid these common mistakes and take the time to showcase your best work in a clear and accessible way. Recruiters will thank you, and your chances of landing that dream internship will improve.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of our UX videos, take a look at these over here and consider subscribing to our channel. On our website, nngroup.com, you can access our free library of over 2,000 articles. You can also register for one of our virtual UX conferences that offer live hands-on UX training.